Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris Carter Realty, and today we're going to answer the question, can you lose your earnest money in Texas during a real estate deal? And the answer is yes, you can. You lose your earnest money in a real estate deal, but not just because, say the seller is upset that the buyer terminated the contract. Whether the buyer receives the money back depends on the contract, depends on the reason for the termination, and whether or not every deadline was followed correctly. Let's take a real world listing. Let's look at this Allen, Texas property. At the time of this recording, 2015 Midhurst in Allen has 5 bedrooms, 4 bath, a pool, and 4,100 square feet, and is listed at $699,900. Now, say a buyer offers $699,900 and puts down a 1% earnest fee for the property. That would be $6,999. The earnest money is a good faith deposit. It shows that the buyer is serious, but it's not automatically the seller's money once the contract is signed. The escrow agent, typically the title company, holds the deposit until the contract is completely executed. Under the standard TREC resale contract, the buyer generally must deliver the earnest money and option fee within 3 days after the effective date. The contract contains special provisions when the final day falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or a legal holiday. Now, missing that delivery deadline can be a serious contractual problem. Don't assume that wiring the money sometime that week will be okay. And always verify wiring instructions directly with the title company, because real estate wire fraud is real. Let's figure out when a buyer can potentially lose the earnest money. The clearest example is buyer default. Suppose the buyer reaches the end of the option period, has no remaining finance, appraisal, title, or other contractual rights to terminate, and then says, I changed my mind, I don't want to buy this house. The buyer could be in default. Depending on the contract and the seller's election of remedies, the seller may seek the earnest money as liquidation damages to pursue another viable contractual remedy. But buyers may have legitimate termination rights. During a properly purchased option period, a buyer using standard TREC resale contract may generally terminate within the option deadline and receive the earnest money back. The option fee itself is treated differently and is generally credited at closing, but is not ordinarily refunded following an option termination. A financing addendum may provide protection if the buyer cannot obtain approval within its terms and deadlines. An appraisal provision may provide protection if the property does not satisfy the agreed value requirement and the buyer acts correctly and on time. Title objections, HOA documentation provisions, seller disclosure issues, and other applicable addendums may create additional rights. But here's the trap. Having a possible reason is not the same as properly exercising a contractual right. The buyer may need to deliver a written notice, use the correct form, provide supporting documentation, and meet an exact deadline. Verbal message saying, we're probably backing out, or we're not going to move forward with the deal, is not how I would protect the client's $6,999 deposit. Another issue is that the title company usually does not decide who is legally right. If the parties dispute the earnest money, the escrow agent may require written authorization, follow the correct demand procedures, interplead the funds, or wait for the dispute to be resolved. Meaning they're going to step back and let typically arbitration take process and figure out who has the rights to the earnest money. That means even a buyer who believes they're entitled to the money may not receive it. My process as a buyer's agent is straightforward. We calendar the earnest money delivery deadline, option deadline, financing deadline, appraisal deadline, title objection deadline, and closing date immediately. I like to confirm the title company has received good funds. We involve the lender early. We never assume one protection substitutes for another. And if the buyer is considering terminating outside a clear contractual right, I advise the buyer to consult a Texas real estate attorney before taking the actions. Earnest money isn't designed to frighten buyers. It's designed to support a binding agreement. But on a $699,900 purchase, a casual mistake can put nearly $7,000 at risk. I'm Chris Carter with Chris Carter Realty. If you're purchasing in the North Texas area, my job is not just to find you a house, it's to track the dates and help you understand when your money may and may not be protected, and when that exposes you to some possible losses. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.